We're likely to have grown up thinking that the mainstream media was our friend, the common sense, natural judge of everything that matters and is important, and a reliable guide to existence. But we might also be realizing that isn't quite true. Let's take a moment to remind ourselves of some of the things that might be slightly or even very wrong with mainstream media. It's pretty easy to do. No one can pass such headlines without giving way to a click. In order to gain money from advertisers or governments, the media has to hook us in, and it knows our minds are helpless in the face of such headlines. We look to the media to tell us about what matters, but it cares predominantly about what will excite us. Sometimes the two categories coincide. What's most important in the world may be what's most immediately exciting too. But usually that's not the case. We're built to have an almost irresistible attraction to certain stories involving power, fame, disaster and sex, and yet we're tempted to yawn about schools, developing world problems and the money supply. We're not evil, it's just the equivalent of our fatal weakness for processed sugar, fat and salt, and the media does everything it can to exploit this. In theory, the media has a deeply important function to play in a democracy. It's meant to direct a mass audience to engage with the greatest problems in society, so as to push politicians to make necessary changes. But as it is, the media is obsessed with scandals. It focuses relentlessly on the rather thrilling misdemeanors of a few people, rather than the large systemic failings that are harder to see and far less sexy to describe. It gives the population a feeling that it's on the side of the little guy against the big guy, but far from it. The sacrifice of the odd bigwig in a scandal and nothing, and reliably take our eyes off pushing for proper large-scale improvements. Most problems in society take time to fix, but by constantly changing the topic of national conversation, the media ensures that nothing will remain a priority for long. One always makes more money getting someone scared about bugs, viruses, explosions, than getting them to a sane, correct assessment of the dangers facing them and a melancholy acceptance of death and compromise in general. One makes more money getting people furious than patient before the challenges of righting a wrong, or philosophical in the face of human evil. It reports in impassive terms about adultery in a Hollywood marriage or the bad behaviour of a model. It pretends to care about so-called transgressions, while not admitting that it's at the same time titillating the audience, most of whom, deep in their unconscious, would love a chance to do what's being condemned on the surface. The media therefore hypocritically satisfies both our fantasies and our need to think ourselves normal and respectable. It's called the news because of an obsession with the notion that the new and important go together, but much that just happened is far less important than many things that occurred thousands of years ago. There are things we need that lie further back. The most significant bits of information could not always have happened in the last 24 hours, as the news pretends. When the media's in a serious mood, it will give us 6,000-word essays on global warming that only a handful of people read. It seems the choice is either between the sexy and banal or the serious and starchy. In the utopia, what we need is the most serious issues presented in the most engaging ways. It's not enough for serious journalists to plonk the important stories before us. They need to work doubly hard to get the story and then also to make it exciting as the latest from Taylor Swift. There's nothing wrong with having famous people in a society. The reason why celebrities become a dirty word is that we've got the wrong celebs in front of us. We need the media to anoint people with fame, but fame for doing noble and good things that really help a nation. We don't need to get rid of celebrities, we need better varieties. We like to think we've got a good media because it's free. Freedom is a wonderful privilege, no doubt, but on its own, it's nothing. We need a media that isn't just free, but also good, that is, able to direct a mass audience towards what truly counts, which is, as it's been since the days of Plato, justice, truth, and wisdom.